Hi, I'm Jim. I'm another cousin of Jean-Claude Villet, who as a nice Frenchman used to do some videos here to present waiter-style service, and unfortunately Jean-Claude made a little visit to France, and it seems that they won't let him back out of the country. So I want to continue on with a few things, a few lessons, again, just to re-emphasize that there is information on how to be a better waiter.com, howtobea-betterwaiter.com, and today we're just going to talk about some wines. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of detail because I think that we tend to get a little stuffy, a little overdone on wine. I think that I had a few emails from some managers who said, you know, we were hoping to see something a little more serious about wines, so that makes it easier for our staff to get more motivated to sell wines. I think one thing that should motivate a staff member right off the bat, a waiter, waitress, anyone that's selling wine at the dining room level, is that you got to understand that there's a nice ticket price associated with many bottles of wine. You can sell all the $10, $15, $20 entrees that you want, 2, 3, 4 of them, but sometimes you spend that $60 on the food, you have a $60 bottle of wine that might just be right there. It doubles your commission, your tip that you're going to make, and knowing and taking time and understanding how to sell that wine is very important. You don't have to know, because of all the different vineyards that are located nowadays in the world, actually, that you are not going to know all the labels. You will never know all the vineyards that are out there. What you could understand, however, is that you might want to know something about 2, 3, 4, maybe even 6 different grapes and wines, so that you can answer questions for your guests about a flavor or a type of wine that they might like. I want to show you, I don't push particular types of brands. I mean, this one happens to be Lindemans. It's a very well-known Australian wine. It's Australian. The label, you know, that's one reason. If you take a little bit of time, you as the server, spend a little time with your wine list and go over and look at the bottles. Take 2 or 3 of those bottles and take a good look at the label. It's going to tell you everything you need to know. It'll make you more confident about selling the wine. So when you approach the table and you say to your guests, you know, that you welcome them in a nice, confident, natural way. Thank you for coming to join us here this evening. You know, may I offer you a bottle of wine to start off your evening? You could even take 2 select wines to the table yourself, a red and a white, and say, these are the wines we're featuring this evening, and you have studied a little bit about the wine so that you know a little bit about it. How do you know it? Again, right on the back of this are labels that tell you. This happens to be a Chardonnay. It's Lindemans, well received, nice full flavor. It's not overdone. But if you want some more description, if you want to know how much of the Chardonnay grape, if you want to know the region, it's there. You can show yourself and appear to be more educated about it by just talking about the wine from what you've read on the label. Here's another example. A nice little Chilean Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot blend. The fact is, most Cabernet Sauvignons have Merlot in them already. This happens to mention that it is in there, but if you look at the back of a label of a Cabernet Sauvignon, you'll see a lot of times what percent of Cabernet Sauvignon grape. It might be 62%, it might be 30% on a Merlot grape, and they might add something like a Grenache grape to mellow it out, give it a little more fruit, or a Cabernet Franc to give it more heart and more full flavor. So just understand that the grape in many countries is what is going to be what you're going to see named on the front. In France, they'll name it as the region. So you have to know a little bit about what grape is actually grown in Bordeaux, what grape is grown in Burgundy, what grape is grown in Champagne. And the Chardonnay, and only in Champagne region can you actually call a true Champagne a Champagne, because it has to be grown, the grapes have to be grown in the Champagne region. But that's something you can learn. But here's another thing. Suppose you go to the table, you don't have any description. You hear people talk blackberry and raspberry, and and a little nuttiness and little flavors like that. It can be descriptive right on the back. Read the label, pick up a few helpful hints from the back of the label, and understand what they are saying about their wine. You're not going to get any better description of what they're putting on here. They have professional writers to put this information on the back. You're going to have a whole lot of information on the back of that label. Some of the real cheap wines that you'll find will have absolutely no description. They'll just have a barcode and you can buy it at the store. It happens to be a Conciottoro. Beautiful, I mean, these are fine little wines here from Chile, and it is just, you know, I'll drink it, absolutely. So that's the other thing. Buy maybe a bottle a week and just take a couple sips, try it out, see if you like it. You find one you really like, or buy one from your own wine list at your restaurant. Take a little sip, see if you like it. If you don't, move on, try something. You might not be at that point where you like a heavier wine. You might like to have something that has a little more fruit to it, and that's what you'll be selling a lot of. This is Jim. I'm speaking here on behalf of howtobeabetterwaiter.com. It's not our own wine label, but happened to work out well. And just to let you know that this video will appear on the howtobeabetterwaiter.com. And for any other information, if you're visiting St. Petersburg, Florida, just to let you know, if you can check out the site conciergeofstpete.com, you'll have a lot of information that we can put together for you there and get you down here on a nice, safe trip. And maybe have a glass of wine with you out on one of the sunset cruise boats that exist. This is Jim for howtobeabetterwaiter.com. Hopefully Jean-Claude Filet is doing well in France. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.